Right, so hey everyone and welcome back to another budget photography video. So, yes, it has happened again. You'd think I'd learn after the first time, but no, it's happened twice and now a third. Okay, so, picture this, it's the height of summer. I have a client who's wanted me to do some video work for a little concert, outdoor concert thing. And I thought, you know what would really spice up this client's video? A gimbal! Yeah, I brought a gimbal. So, because of where it was, I didn't personally go and pick this up, okay? I didn't do it. But that's not me waving blame, by the way. My partner picked it up for me. And here's how the story went. Her side. So, she walked into the shop, obviously. Then she walked up to the counter and went, I'd like to buy the DJI Osmo SE, I think it's called. SE, SC, something like that. I can't remember now. I'd like to buy this gimbal. And the employee went, what's that? So she showed him where it was in the store, pointed to it and went, I'd like that, please. That one. He picked it up, took it to the counter to ring her up, to, run the card and stuff like that. And whilst they were, doing that and getting everything ready, the employee, and this is kind of part of it here, the employee said to her, what's this actually for? What does it do? And she went, oh, you put a camera on it and it stabilizes handheld camera movements. And he was like, oh, okay then. And she thought nothing more of it. Now, bearing in mind of what's going to happen next, right? The sale, by the way, went off without a hitch. It was fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the staff member. Well, I say that. So she then brought this to me, who was already at the client's shoot. Now, I didn't tell the client that I was going to be using this, so I was under no obligation to use this. I get the gimbal, and it had a nice presentation box, nice carrying case. It was nice, and I go to mount my camera on it. So I go to mount my camera, and it was like this. Now, if you know cameras and gimbals, you know there's something missing here. Yes, there is. This plate, this Arca Swiss, whatever the hell it is called, mount, not the screw, that's mine. This plate was missing. This little tiny plate was missing, which meant this was effectively useless. Now, this is where I get back to with the employee asking, what's that? Because that's the problem with computer exchange in general. The staff don't know anything about the products that they're selling. And I've had that on multiple occasions. They don't know what they're selling. Now, fair enough. A gimbal, I'm not expecting every single one to know what a gimbal is or what this does or what that does. I mean, in a way, yes, I kind of am, but also I'm not, but I expect you to know what you're selling me. And I expect the product that you sell me to be, fit for purpose. So in theory, it goes against trading standards here in the UK because the product that they sold me wasn't fit for purpose. Now, This little piece is the piece, no, not the original one, but I brought one out of my own pocket. So I spent, what, £300 on a gimbal, and then another £50 on this. This was about 50 quid from DJI. But it gets even worse because they don't sell it on their store. So you can't go www.dji.co.uk, because, you know, obviously that's where I am, and go, oh yeah, shop, mount for the camera gimbal, click, buy, done. No, you can't do that. No, no, no. I looked around the shop for hours. I looked around the American shop. Nothing. So, I reached out to customer service, who, first of all, had no idea what I was on about. Then when they finally understood what I was on about and what I wanted, they were like, of course, we will get your little piece of metal out to you. But it's going to cost you £50. Ah, yeah. Now, I have no problem buying it. That's not my problem. But 50? Really? Now, yes, you're probably going, you could have brought third party. Yeah, I could have done. And they would have been cheaper, and they were a lot cheaper. But I didn't want to, because I wasn't fully sure of their sizes. You see, there are two. Well, I say there are two. There's one size normally that's used for tripods and gimbals, depending on the brand. But there are one kind of thing like this. And it's a lot bigger. So DJI have shrunk it because obviously this is a lot smaller than most gimbals, which, fair enough. So you couldn't fit a normal one in here. It had to be this one, and I wasn't sure of its dimensions. I couldn't find them to make sure that the product on Amazon was the right size, and I didn't want to waste money. So I paid it. 3 days later, it turned up, and I was able to use my gimbal. And there's now fireworks going off in the background. I apologise. Now, let's go back to computer exchange, because I've had this a few times where employees have had no idea what they are selling me. They only really know the phones. And even then, it's a bit hit and miss. Now, again, as I said, I don't expect them to know everything. But I expect them to know that there is a piece missing that is a very vital part of a very expensive gimbal. Well, an expensive gimbal, let's face it. It's not very expensive. Well, it could be. Anyway, depends who you ask. Yeah, now, as I said, I really can't stress enough. I don't expect them to know everything. But if you're going to be selling me a gimbal, or you're going to buy a gimbal off of a customer and then sell it on, why don't you know about it? Why don't you make sure that everything is there? Now, I do actually have, hang on, this little thing. Look at that. That is the mechanical focusing motor. Come on, focus. Focusing motor, it won't focus. There we go. Look, let's, come on, you're meant to have really good autofocus, R6. Look at that, look. And then it comes with, I don't have that, it comes with a pole as well to attach it, and it this is extra. When you buy this gimbal brand new, this focusing wheel is extra because you have one here at the side that's kind of a digital one that works with a camera like this. But if you've got a more manual lens, then you need a special pulley system and mounts that are really rattly. because they've got screws in. There we go, that's why. So I get an extra focusing motor that I'm personally probably not going to use because I don't use cine lenses. I mean, this is my one of my workhorse lenses. This is a 24-105 f4L. It's a workhorse, love it. Anyway, but I don't use it. So it's a piece of the gimbal that I don't use. I might sell it on to somebody else that actually will use it. But anyway, now I've got another problem with this gimbal and CEX. Now, this gimbal introduced face tracking so that you could hold it out or have it still and you could move around and it would track your face, as I've shown in many other videos with my Osmo Pocket thing, the phone gimbal. I've shown in reviews how you can leave it in one place, kind of like I've left this camera. You can just move around and you get the point. Now, to make that work on this gimbal, you need a phone to be mounted to the gimbal. Okay, DJI provides a phone mount and it's usually pretty good, unless yours turns up broken. That's how mine came, broken. Look at that, completely snapped off. And it is the official DJI. I think it has, yeah, it has markings, look, from DJI themselves. Now, I didn't buy this from DJI. Let's, come on, focus. There we go. Can you see that? Is that focusing? I can't tell. Let's, there we go. Yeah, so I didn't buy this from DJI. I brought this again from CEX, where the gimbal came from. It came with the gimbal. And it had its little, it had a thing coming out of here that went along and down to mount to the gimbal itself. So it sits like that or like that. So when you're looking in the box, even on that first day that I saw it, I thought, oh yeah, I didn't need it at that time. But a product is broken. I didn't pay attention to it, so that is kind of my fault. I should have checked it. You know, I'm always going to make videos when I get ripped off, or whatever you want to call this, or my stupidity. But I'm really doing this as a message to Computer Exchange to please take better care of the stuff you buy. Because whenever I try and sell something faulty or damaged, they always go, nope, we can't buy it because it's damaged. Okay, fair enough, I get it. But I always seem to buy that same damaged stuff. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me in this video. That's my rant over. This camera has moved, hasn't it? There we go. That's my rant over for now. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully I won't be ripped off again. Oh, God.